You can almost think of it like different hard drives that have different codes that are like passwords or programs that can modify energy in particular ways. How's it going? It's Chris, your spiritual mentor. And today I want to talk to you about a really cool energetic concept that you might hear floating around, but it's oftentimes not really described well. And maybe you don't even really know what this concept means. So let's go really deep right now on the concept of light codes. So let's start really simple. What are light codes? Light codes are essentially information that is sent to you from source, aka from God, aka from the universe. And it's divine intelligence that's encoded into light. And by light, I don't just mean physical light. I mean spiritual light is holding this information. And when it lands within you, you have what people culturally call a light bulb moment, where you realize something all at once. And it's like the lights turn on in your head. This is a definition of receiving a light code. They can show up differently for other people as well. For me, when I see them in my third eye, they look like symbols that are sparkling and kind of like fluttering around. Kind of reminds me of the snitch from Harry Potter. So it's almost like this really fast moving ball of information and light energy that will land in places where it can be received. And then it creates almost like a miniature explosion of love and information within the being that receives it. For some people, they might show up as sounds. I can sometimes hear them kind of whirring, like how you would imagine, like kind of how a Tesla sounds, like an electronic device sounds when it's spinning, like a computer. Sometimes they make that kind of noise, but many people experience them in many different ways. Sometimes they just come in the form of energy and you don't even receive any conscious information. So sometimes you're just sitting there and you get tingles down your spine and you feel this expansion of energy. And in your head, you might think, oh, that feels interesting, but you don't really have a sense that you received any information, but you did. You received subconscious imprints that will allow you to think differently, behave differently, see things differently, and feel differently in the future. So not everything has to land in the conscious mind. Although much of the time, when you get a light code and you download it, then you do receive a conscious tidbit of information that's associated with the bigger amount of information that the light code is actually carrying. Because if you can think about it, English cannot hold as much information as a light code. So the light code's going to deliver you a bunch of information, but the English representation is going to be a symbol of the light code. It's going to represent what the light code means. It's not going to encapsulate the entire meaning. So something I really want to anchor into you is that light codes are not information in English. They can be received and translated into English, but in their truest form, they are pure information, and we receive them in a complete form. So you get the beginning, the end, and the middle all at once. You don't have to think through it. You receive it, and then it all kind of makes sense, although you may have to kind of piece it together if you wanted to explain it out loud in English. If you want some advanced light codes, I do have a spiritual mentorship group called ReBalance, where a huge focus on it is downloading these really powerful light codes that completely rebalance and shift your life from the ground up. So if that resonates with you at all, then you can fill out the application that's in the description and we'll reach out to you if it seems like it might be a good fit. So where do light codes come from? Well, light codes come from source, they come from truth, they come from God, but we receive them through many different mediums because it's information that is stored in certain places. You can almost think of it like different hard drives that have different codes that are like passwords or programs that can modify energy in particular ways. For example, a lot of people have light codes in their soul, and this is because of the lessons that they have learned about the truth of life, and also because of light codes they have received from other beings that have learned the truth of life. So you can exchange this information. It's almost like the internet for souls. And what people call this is the Akashic records. So light codes can be stored in the earth grid. They can be stored in individual souls. They can be stored in music. They can be stored in cultural ideas. They can be stored in stories. They can be stored in memories. They can be stored in energetic symbolism. They can be stored in so many ways. So let's talk about the common ways to receive a light code. The number one way that people receive light codes is just by being present and open to what's around them. So if there is that information around them and they're able to perceive it, they will receive that piece of information. They'll receive, integrate, and embody that light code just by being able to perceive it. So the first step to being able to download and receive light codes is simply being able to perceive them. And in order to perceive them, you need to be present to the moment, have a lot of space in your energy field, and be relaxed and surrendered. For me personally, the times that I receive light codes the most are when I do an intense spiritual exercise, like maybe breath work, or maybe I do an intense yoga session and I'm really focused on my body, or maybe I'm doing some plant medicine and I'm experiencing a download on the plant medicine. It can come in a very vast array of ways. I also have often received light codes from friends of mine who have been helping me through something that they've already worked through, and they're able to just pass me light codes of information that just click in my soul. And then it's almost like it works itself out on its own without me even having to do much. You can also receive light codes from ascended masters or guides or mentors that do not have a physical body, or from healers, guides, coaches, and mentors that are here to serve you, that are embodied. So you can find other beings, whether they're incarnate or whether they're in the spirit realm, who have information for you, and they can pass you light codes that are in alignment with your soul. So what's the point of these light codes? Why does it matter if I get tingles in my spine or not? Well, it's because this is your energetic resonance. So when you receive light codes, your vibration raises, you're able to deal with more, you're able to go through more levels of experience while remaining in your truth. You're able to put yourself out there in ways that you weren't able to before. You're able to activate gifts that you didn't even know you had. You'll feel physically better, you'll feel mentally better, and emotionally better because the energy flow is more balanced, harmonic, and in alignment. They also can move your life into a completely different direction than you were expecting. So some people will maybe go do ayahuasca or something and they receive a lot of light codes and downloads on their plant medicine experience. And then they go quit their job and start a new business, or they break up with their partner that wasn't in alignment with them, or they change some big aspect of their life. And it's not just because they did ayahuasca in a jungle that happened. It's because their encoding of their energetic body is now different. So they react and engage with the world in a different way. So just be prepared. When you're downloading light codes, it's not just going to make you happier and more successful. It oftentimes can completely tear your life apart and force you to rebuild it anew from the ground, which sounds scary, but if it was out of alignment in the first place, then it's worth it. And I want to leave you with a cool affirmation that you can try to do if you want to call in light codes and information for you. So what you can say, you can take 3 deep breaths and close your eyes and repeat after me. I am open to receive what my soul is ready for. I am open to receive what my soul is ready for. Take a breath, let it out. So thanks so much for joining today. It was great speaking with you. Leave a comment down below if you have any questions, or if you maybe disagree and want to have some more information on a certain topic. Drop the comment below. And yeah, I'll see you next time.